Hello, Gary Champion, Psychic Medium. I had a thought today because I tend to see a lot of spirits, and my grandfather's talking about it, that he's appeared multiple times. And it was years ago, 10 years ago, living in a tiny little apartment, writing books, and I could feel him behind me. I wasn't quite sure it was him, but that's what I was feeling. And I turned around and he was watching me write books. He was watching me type, uh, word processing, processing words. And he looked like he did the last time I saw him, 1980 or something. He looked the same. And I always wondered about that. And I always thought that they appeared as they were when you saw them last because it was the most comforting, most recognizable look. Because you look at someone as a child and then they're 30 years old and they don't look anything the same. You have to look hard. And he was standing there in this same double pocket shirt. He used to keep ink pens in one and his camels in another one. He wouldn't wear a shirt that didn't have two pockets. And the hair was the same. It was white, but it was stuck up, you know. He looked the same. And I was typing on a book just like I was then. And he comes by periodically with good advice, stuff you can't figure out on your own. And I flashed back on that time, which is of course him being there made me go back there. And he said, "We appear as you want us to. We don't control how we look." And that's not earth shattering, but pretty important for someone who thought that they control the way they look for depending on who they appeared in front of. Um, he might look different for different people that are still alive that he knew when he was alive. He might, because time goes on, you get older. So I thought they controlled that. He's saying, no, we don't. And the topics we talk about when we come to you we don't decide those either. How can that be? And I flash back on the time when I was daydreaming. I was typing on a book and I was daydreaming, and I closed my eyes and I'm in the truck riding with my grandfather. He had this old 1956 Chevy pickup black, and it was a rattly old thing, and he didn't use second gear. So I'm sitting there and he's first gear and then third gear, and it does that shaking thing. I asked him about it, and he said, that's the way he's always driven it. And then the steering wheel disappears, and his hands are not, because there's no wheel, and the truck takes a left. I think there were any turn signals on the truck ever. I don't remember him signaling or anything. He'd stick his hand out the one, I think, was his signal. But he didn't do that. He wanted me to see that his hands were not on the steering wheel. And it turned left right into a parking lot and parked. And the object of that was to tell me that I was oversteering my life. If the truck knows where it's going, don't try and oversteer it. Your life knows where it's going. It's a metaphor for my life. Don't always steer the truck. It knows where it's going. Your life knows where it's going. It was a comparison between a truck and a life. Metaphors. A lot of metaphors from the other side. If you're having trouble discerning what they're talking about or trying to show you, it's a metaphor. Most of the time, that's what it is, because it's easier to show a truck than it is to explain it to you. It takes a paragraph to explain it. Picture of a truck turning off of a street into a parking lot with no steering. So he was telling me that I was oversteering my life, thus messing it up, which is what the video the other day was about. Tried doing nothing. Things always come out a little better for me if I just kind of follow what's in front of me, listen to what's going on. But he says topics for discussion was decided by me, that I was oversteering my life, and that decided him making that as a subject to talk about. Really, no words, just him trying to steer it. And then from his mind to my mind, I heard, you're oversteering your life. Pretty simple. But I thought they'd decided what they were going to. I guess they see what you're struggling with. And that's why in a reading, the first thing that comes out, they don't have to sit down, just walk in the door, and immediately I'm flooded with information about them. And it's what they need to hear. So the topic of discussion is often, now you can choose. In a reading, I have two kinds of readings. One's where people have a list of 15 things they want answers to, and they think they're in control. They're going to ask those 15 and hang up. That's all they want to know. They don't want to know their grandmother's talking to them. And then there's the people who want that connection, the spiritual end of it as well. And I had no idea that the topic for discussion, it depends on what kind of mess you're in, what you're doing that you could use help with, as to what the conversation is. I was typing on a book, having a hard time, trying to do this, doing this fair, traveling to do this fair somewhere up north, new equipment, new tablecloths, trying to manufacture something that would work. And I remember about that time I did a video called What's in My Bag. I think there's a version of it up there still somewhere in the YouTube, What's in My Bag. And I was pulling things out, showing you what I carry on the road to do these shows with. Each piece had a purpose. I'm thinking, well, that's me over controlling again. If I just threw a tablecloth and a timer in there, I could probably do fine. In a sign-up sheet, maybe. So, number one, they appear as you would wish them to appear if you see them. And like my wife's father was here a couple of weeks ago, he showed up in a really, really, really white shirt. And I didn't get his face. I just got this big, bright white shirt as he walked in front of me. And I asked her about it. She said, oh, he always wore that white shirt. That was it. One thing he would wear. He thought it made him look better at work, and I agree. But he appeared in a way such that I could tell her about him. If he had showed up in a blue shirt, I wouldn't. Did someone always wear a blue shirt? No, connection wouldn't have been made. So the conversation starts up about what you need help with, and they appear as you wish they would appear. Because they're electrical energy now. They don't have a body. They don't, it's different. In my book, To the Other Side and Back, I wrote a couple of years ago, I described in there what I saw and how they travel and how they look. And because I did this meditation, kind of flipped to the other side, and they allowed me to see certain things that I had never seen before to help me become better. That was the purpose of it. I hope I'm not confusing you. I'm not confused. No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.